The A95K is Sony's flagship TV in 2022 and their first ever QD-OLED might be one of the most talked about and hyped up Sony models this year. But here are 5 things you need to know if you're considering buying it. If you're torn between a few Sony 2022 models, then be sure to check out our buying guide here. And if you'd like to see a full in-depth review of this model, then let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe if you find this video helpful. Right, let's kick off with number 1, the design. Now this model is available in 55 and 65 inch only. I'll flash current prices up here for you now, but be aware that prices can vary, so check the link in the description for the most up-to-date pricing. Now both sizes offer a very slimline and premium appearance and a one slate designed to minimise the bezel around the screen. But there is one key thing to note in terms of the design, the stand. It's a pretty big step away from their usual multi-optional stand, and instead it sits flush on your unit. Now you can choose to have the stand behind or in front of the TV depending on your room, but be aware that the foot will take up space either way. If you opt to have the stand behind the TV, it does actually place the screen at a slight backwards angle for more optimized viewing. However, if you do have a soundbar, you're going to be limited with the placement of this TV, as it will block the view of the bottom of the screen. Any soundbar with upwards firing or sideways firing drivers wouldn't want to be placed within a unit or shelf, so you'd have to wall mount the TV in this case. So something worth bearing in mind, as the practicality of the TV within the space is just as important as the performance. The second thing to note is what QD-OLED actually means for you as the viewer. The A95K is the first ever Sony QD-OLED TV, and it does differ from the other OLED options. It can get a bit complex once you get into the jargon, so to keep it simple, traditional OLED TVs have a colour filter which sits behind the screen, and this requires a white light to be pushed through. However, the OLED panel at the back is blue, and so you need to add extra layers to make it white, and all those layers suppress brightness, which is a common downside to OLEDs. QD-OLED takes away the need for filters and the need for white light, and instead keeps a blue OLED panel and simply adds green and red quantum dots. That's the QD bit, to provide the colour spectrum. So what does this mean when you're watching TV at home? Well, you're going to get an overall brighter picture, a better availability of colours, and you won't get that washed out whites, which can happen with traditional OLEDs. Simply put, this is the best OLED panel from Sony you can buy right now. Having tested this out with different movies, TV shows and games, this TV is seriously impressive for picture quality, and the colour accuracy and contrast are awesome. A side note worth mentioning is some Sony tech in this TV which helps reduce the risk of the dreaded burn-in. Firstly, this model includes a heat diffusion sheet, and this ensures that there's uniformity in the heat across the screen to protect from image retention. Temperature distribution mapping is on all of Sony's 2022 OLED models, which helps protect the screen from getting too hot. And there's also some clever tech which moves the whole image by 1 pixel to again help reduce the risk of burn-in. Number 3 is sound. In terms of sound quality, the A95K supports Dolby Atmos, and we've also got Acoustic Surface Audio Plus. So the screen itself becomes a speaker, with 2 20-watt actuators and 2 10-watt subwoofers. This means sound reproduction will be more accurate to what you're seeing on the screen. We tend to prefer using a separate soundbar for most TV setups, but for those not wanting to go for that or any other separate audio setup, then this TV does offer really decent sound performance from the TV alone. Another important thing to note is that the A95K also features speaker terminals, so you can actually use the TV as the centre speaker in the surround sound system. Good to know as an optional sound setup. Number 4 is for the gamers out there. Now we know this TV isn't designed for gaming at the forefront, but if you're looking for more of an all-rounder, then this might be a good option. So we've got 4K 120, Auto HDR tone mapping, ALLM and VRR. And when you combine all that with the picture quality, it makes your gaming experience even more immersive. One thing to note, however, is there are only 2 HDMI 2.1 inputs, and one of those is your eARC. The A95K's HDMI ports also don't default to support 4K at 120Hz or 4K at HDR, so you actually have to turn that feature on in the ports menu options. I'm not sure why this isn't on auto, but if you know about it, then it's pretty simple to change over. Oh, and one final thing worth noting, there's no HDIG setting. Finally, on to number 5 then, the camera. Yeah, you heard that right. Sony introduced Bravia Cam this year, and you get one free in the box with this TV. Now, we automatically dismiss this as a bit of a gimmick, but there are a few cool features to mention. Now, it does all the things you'd expect, and it can be used as a webcam or chat device or control the TV with gesture control. But what we think is the best part of the camera is that it actually optimizes your TV for the space you're in. So it automatically adjusts brightness depending on how close you are to the screen, adjusts the audio to suit where you're sat, and even dim right down to save energy when it detects you've left the room. All pretty handy features, and don't worry, it's not filming you, we checked. I'll also point out that along with the standard numbered remote, you also get a new slimmed down remote with this model which supports voice control. We think this TV is going to be a really exciting addition to Sony's lineup, and we've been really enjoying testing it out in our showroom. But what do you think? Will it be making its way into your living room? Let us know, and let us know if you'd like a full review on this model. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.